I've been joined by Chase Elliott, driver of the number 24 Napa Chevrolet. And Chase, welcome back to Auto Club Speedway. I know you stayed out, I believe, out west during a little bit of this West Coast swing. So is anything fun you've been able to do while you've been out here? And kind of give everybody a recap before we kind of officially close NASCAR Goes West.
Yeah, it's been fun. We've really enjoyed our time. I've always enjoyed this West Coast swing. I think it's a great time of year to do this, kind of get out away from the weather at home and get out here to this nice weather that we've seen the past 3 weeks. Hopefully that continues throughout the weekend. We spent a lot of time in Colorado between Phoenix and this weekend with with Alan and a couple of the guys. So it was a fun week and happy to be here and looking forward to getting going.
All right, we'll go ahead and open for questions. For Chase, if you have one, please raise your hand and state your affiliation, and we'll start up front with Claire. Anybody with a microphone? Oh, perfect. Here they come, Claire.
I can hear you.
Here comes the microphone. Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. This racetrack is so different, and you only come here once a year, and you're so close to winning. What sorts of things do you think about when you think about racing on this track?
This is such a cool place to come. Definitely a racetrack that lends a lot of options from the driver's perspective. You know, the surface is in its prime, I feel like, here with the way it is and the way the famous seams are here at this racetrack that everybody always talks about. So, it was very racy last year. There was a lot of different lanes, a lot of grip that you could find in random various places. So I hope that that's the case again this season. But such a fun place. I've really enjoyed coming here the past 3 years. One of those places that you only come once a year, but only coming once a year to some of these places is good because I think you make the most of it that one time, and less is more. So I'm going to have a lot of fun with it this weekend. Hopefully we can get our car dialed in and try to have a good run on Sunday.
All right. Additional questions? Go ahead, Wolfgang.
Chase, you just mentioned you come here only one time a year. Nevertheless, I think from the previous years, also when you run Xfinity, we have a lot of data. In principle, can you not just look in your data of the previous years and set the car up like it was last year or the year before?
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can look back at some of the things. I mean, you're always going to carry trends from year to year from a setup perspective, but you're never going to be the exact same no matter what, or no matter how good you were a year ago. If you're not progressing or trying to get better, you're not going to be any better. So, a lot of times you can fall into a bit of a trap when you run good somewhere, and then you come back with the same thing thinking that, oh, that was so good. Even just a couple months ago, like you look at some of the races that we go to in the midsummer months that are, only 3 or 4 weeks apart, such as the Pocono races or the Michigan races. If you're not changing things or trying to get better between those two races, you're not going to run as good, and that's just the facts. So this place is the same way, and having a year in between, obviously a lot has changed since last year. A lot of rule changes. NASCAR's cracked down on some of the things that a lot of guys were doing over the offseason, took some of that stuff away, and you got to find new ways to try to go fast.
All right, go ahead.
Robbie Mays, MRN. 2 questions for you, Chase. Number one, stage racing. Coming into the season, I know you and Alan probably had a lot to talk about as far as strategy goes. So far through 4 races, are you seeing that strategy play out the way you thought it would? Has it been different for you? And second question is, going to Martinsville next week, a little bit of experience there in the truck and the Cup car. What are your thoughts going to Martinsville?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the stage racing goes, I mean, I think it's added a cool element to the races, and the big thing is it lends an opportunity to get some points that go toward the championship, and I think that's the most important thing. That's the biggest thing we talked about, over the offseason was just, there's a lot of points to be gained by winning those stages throughout the season that could give you a huge advantage once the end of the season, the last 10 start. So I think that's the biggest thing with the stage races. Glad we could have a stage win last week at Phoenix this early in the year, which is awesome. I know it's just a point, but a point can go a long way, and hopefully we can get some more of those stage wins that can add up pretty quickly. There's a lot of stages to be had throughout the season, so everybody's focusing on those, and everybody's always trying very hard, so I don't think it's going to change the racing per se. It might change some strategy, but we're all trying as hard as we can last year, the year before, or whenever. So I don't think it's fair to think that that's just going to magically make us try harder. I think we're already trying pretty hard, but as far as Martinsville goes, obviously it's no secret that place has been a struggle for me. So I am looking forward to getting back. I do feel like I made some gains personally, and I do think that myself and Alan and our team, we worked in a better direction for me at Martinsville, and Jeff is so good there, and we tried to really show up in the spring race last year, just like Jeff raced the fall. I tried to talk to him and do things exactly like I listened, and like I thought I could pick up from him, and it just didn't work out that way. So I think for me, we have some different techniques and some of the things that we do differently, and for whatever reason, I haven't been able to copy what he does at that racetrack. I wish I could, because he obviously has won a lot there. So that was the reasoning in running the truck race last fall, was just to try to get some more experience, and plan on running the truck race again next weekend, at Martinsville with GMS Racing. So I'm looking forward to getting some more time, and hopefully that'll help for Sunday. So just trying to make small gains at places of struggle, and just for whatever reason, just haven't figured it out. So I'm excited to go give it another shot.
Holly, go ahead.
Holly Kane, NASCAR.com. Hi, Chase. Wanted to ask you a little bit. Recently, with yourself, with Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, younger drivers, you guys are already, started off this season challenging for the wins, making a huge statement in terms of the championship. There's really been no easing into it for you guys this year. You are there, you're on it, and you're the guys. You've really made the field of contenders, doubled in size, what we would expect every week. Could you just talk about maybe how it feels for you as a young driver, and how everyone seems to really be stepping on it right from the get-go this year?
Yeah, I think it's really cool to see. I've enjoyed racing with both of those guys throughout the season. I feel like I think a lot of that, I can't say that myself, I don't know about them, but I can't speak for them. But for me, I've just tried to take what I learned last year, try to improve on that and do some things better. But I think the big thing is we all have really fast cars to drive right now, and that sure does make it a lot easier to run up front and contend and be there each week. So, I think from our organization, Hendrick, I think Ganassi's the same way, and obviously Penske's been very strong here to start the season. With Brad's win in Atlanta, and Kyle's he's run well every week, I guess. So yeah, I think it's just having fast cars obviously makes that a lot easier. And I know we're all trying hard and we're trying to improve, but our teams did a good job. I know mine did for sure of throughout the off season, trying to find new things, new items to try to go fast. And I think that's the biggest thing that allows us to have good runs, is just having good cars to drive.
Does it feel any differently being up at the top of the point standings versus just having a great run every so often? Having you guys win.
Yeah, it's awesome. I hope, obviously it's really early in the season, so it's hard to read into that a whole lot, because the regular season points are just not. It's just not as important as they once were, and I think those, as I mentioned a minute ago, those championship points that you can earn throughout the season with a stage win or a race win are going to be far more important than where you stack up on a weekly regular season points basis. But I would much rather be towards the top of that than towards the bottom. So I think if we can continue to have strong runs, hopefully we can stay there and try to move forward, and hopefully pick up some positions and try to stay there as long as possible. But most importantly, try to get into the playoffs here at the end of the year and be strong when that rolls around, if we can do that, because that's the most important thing.
All right, we'll go back to Moran.
Chase, Dale Jr. was tweeting earlier, maybe today or yesterday, and he said your confidence is up, and he bets you can win 4 races this year. What do you say to Dale Jr. about that?
I hope Dale's right. That's all I know. That's awesome. I appreciate the kind words for sure. I think we've learned a lot throughout the season last year, and I think as a group and as an organization, we fired off well this year. Not perfect, but good, and I think we have room to improve. But no, I appreciate the kind words. I hope Dale's right. That's all I have to say about that.
All right. Any final questions for Chase? All right, Chase, we wish you the best of luck this weekend.
Okay.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.